Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and thank you so much for being here. So Libra, let's get started. Libra, I need you to stop whatever you are doing right now. I mean that sincerely. Not as a dramatic opening, not as a way to pull you in, but because what came through when I sat down to do this reading for you was so unexpected, so layered, and so unlike anything I typically encounter that I genuinely had to pause and collect myself before I could begin to speak. And I have been doing this for a long time. I have sat with countless energies, read countless love situations, tuned into countless souls who were searching for clarity and direction. I have seen patterns repeat themselves across thousands of readings. I have watched love stories unfold in ways that followed familiar currents and recognizable arcs. But your energy right now, Libra, what is present around you in this moment, I have not seen this before, and I do not say that lightly. I do not say it to impress you or to make this feel more significant than it is. I say it because it is the honest truth of what I encountered when I opened to your frequency. Something is happening in your love energy that is rare. Something is converging around you that does not follow the usual rules, does not move along the expected timeline, does not look like anything I would have predicted for this season. And I believe with everything in me that you were guided here to hear it. So settle in, let everything else fall away, and allow yourself to be fully present for what I am about to share, because this reading is going to take you somewhere you did not expect to go when you first pressed play. Let me begin where I always begin, with where you have been, because your love story, Libra, has not been a simple one, and the energy that is present around you right now cannot be fully understood without first honoring the road that brought you to this point. You have loved with everything you have. That has always been true of you. From the very beginning of your journey with love, you have been someone who goes all in, who commits not just with your actions, but with your whole self, who thinks about the people you love even when they are not in the room, who carries them with you through your days, who measures your decisions against how they will affect the people who matter to you. That quality, that total, generous, devoted quality of your love is one of the most beautiful things about you. It is also the thing that has made your heartbreak so particularly devastating. Because when someone walks away from a Libra, they are not just walking away from a relationship. They are walking away from a world that was carefully, lovingly, thoughtfully constructed around them. They are leaving behind a version of love that most people never even get to experience. And you are left holding the wreckage of something you built with your whole heart, wondering what you could have done differently, wondering if it was something you lacked, wondering if the love you have to give is somehow too much or not enough, or simply not the right fit for anyone at all. And I want you to hear this clearly before we go any further. None of those things are true. You have never been too much. You have never been lacking. And the love you carry is not a burden or a flaw. It is a gift, an extraordinary, rare, profound gift. The issue was never you. The issue was that the people who came before were not equipped to hold what you were offering. And that is not a failure of your love. It is simply the reality of a soul as deep as yours, having to navigate a world where depth is not always recognized or valued or reciprocated. But here is where the reading begins to shift. Here is where what I saw, what stopped me in my tracks, begins to come into focus. Because Libra, the energetic landscape around your love life right now looks nothing like it has in the recent past. Something has fundamentally changed in the current that surrounds you. And the change is so significant, so unmistakable, so different from the patterns I have been reading in this frequency for so long that it genuinely took me by surprise. The walls are coming down, not walls that others built around you, but walls that you, Libra, beautiful, careful, self-protective, you built around yourself, layer by layer, experience by experience. Disappointment by disappointment, without even fully realizing you were doing it. Because that is how Libra protects the heart. Not with coldness, not with anger, not with obvious distance, but with a kind of graceful management of how much you allow people to truly see, a careful curation of your vulnerability, a smile that is warm and genuine and real, that also never quite lets anyone all the way in. And those walls have served you. I want to honor that. They kept you functioning when you would otherwise have been undone by grief. They kept you moving forward when what you really wanted was to stop and fall apart. They kept you strong in moments that would have broken someone with less internal resilience, but they have also quietly kept you from something. From the full, unguarded, completely exposed experience of being loved, of being known, of letting someone so far into your inner world that there is nothing left to hide and no part of yourself held in reserve. And what I am seeing in your energy, what is so unprecedented, so unexpected, so unlike anything that has been present in this frequency before, is that those walls are dissolving. Not because someone is forcing them down, not because circumstances have made them impossible to maintain, but because you from the inside have made a decision, maybe not a conscious decision, maybe not something you sat down and announced to yourself one morning, but a soul-level decision, a quiet, deep, irrevocable shift in the direction of openness. And Libra, that shift, that is what has changed everything. Libra, does this resonate with you? Do you feel something different in yourself lately? Something you cannot quite name but can sense? Leave a comment and tell me, because this part of the reading is so specifically about your internal world, and I want to know if it is landing the way it feels like it should. Now let me tell you about what is being drawn toward you because of that shift. Because energy is not passive, it is magnetic. And when you change the frequency you are broadcasting from, you change what the universe is able to deliver to you. What is being pulled into your orbit right now is extraordinary. There is a love, and I want to be careful here to speak about this in a way that is honest and open rather than absolute. There is a love energy approaching you that has a quality I can only describe as destined. And I know that word is used often in this space, so let me be specific about what I mean by it. I do not mean that this love is guaranteed or that it bypasses your free will or the free will of another person. What I mean is that this connection, this energy, this meeting of two souls, it has the quality of something that was always in the blueprint. Something that was always a possibility that the universe was building toward, quietly, patiently, across years of experiences and lessons and growth. It has the feeling of recognition, of arriving, of something clicking into place. And what makes this so unprecedented, what made me stop and look again when I first saw it in the cards and the energy, is the specific combination of elements that are present simultaneously. Because usually, in love readings, you see either passion or stability, either excitement or depth, either the electricity of something new or the comfort of something lasting. But what I am seeing around you right now contains all of it at the same time, in the same energy. in the same connection. The fire and the peace, the excitement and the safety, the magnetic pull, and the deep, settling sense of home. That combination, Libra, is extraordinarily rare, and finding it, actually encountering it in a reading rather than just describing it as the ideal, is what I genuinely had not seen before. I sat down with your energy. This is not a love that is going to make you choose between being excited and being secure. This is not a connection where you will have to sacrifice depth for passion or settle for comfort in exchange for aliveness. This is something that holds everything simultaneously, and that kind of love, the kind that does not ask you to compromise the essential qualities of what you are looking for. That is what you have been waiting for without fully knowing that was what you were waiting for. Let me speak about this person specifically, not to make promises or guarantees about their actions or their timeline, but to describe the energetic signature that keeps coming through when I focus on who is part of this extraordinary shift in your love energy. This person is someone who has lived. I feel a depth of experience in them, a richness of life that has shaped them into someone with real substance. They are not arriving at your door without knowing themselves. They have been through their own version of the journey. They have done their own version of the inner work. They have arrived at their own hard-won clarity about what they want and who they are. And who they are is someone capable of meeting you where you actually are. Not where you perform being. Not the curated, graceful, always composed version of yourself that you show the world. But the real you. The full you. The you that thinks too deeply and feels too much and sometimes cannot sleep because your mind will not stop turning. That is who they are looking for. That is who they are drawn to. That is who, when they find you, they will recognize immediately and completely. I also feel something very specific about the way this person communicates. There is a directness to them. An honesty that is not harsh but is deeply clear. They do not speak in circles or keep you guessing. They do not leave things ambiguous or make you decode their feelings. What they feel, they say. What they want, they name. And for someone like you, Libra, who has spent so much energy reading between the lines and interpreting silences and trying to understand people who were never quite clear, this clarity is going to feel like the deepest relief you have ever experienced in love. You are not going to have to wonder with this person. You are not going to have to manage your expectations because theirs are unreadable. You are not going to lie awake trying to figure out where you stand. You are going to know because they are going to tell you directly, genuinely, and without making you wait longer than necessary for the truth. Have you been craving that clarity and love? That experience of being with someone who simply says what is real without games or ambiguity? Tell me in the comments. Because I think so many Libras have been starving for exactly this and do not even fully realize how hungry they are until someone names it. Now I want to speak about the moment of recognition. The moment when you encounter this energy, this person, this connection, and something inside you knows, because it may not arrive with fanfare. It may not look the way you have imagined. It may not come in the package you expected or through the circumstances you would have predicted. The universe has a long history of delivering the most significant things through the most unexpected doors. But there will be a moment, a specific, quiet, unmistakable moment, where something in you, that deep, intuitive, knowing part of you that is always more right than you give it credit for, something in you will say, this is different. Not with alarm, not with the nervous excitement that comes from something uncertain, but with the kind of settled recognition. Like hearing a piece of music you have never consciously heard before but somehow already know by heart, like stepping into a space that is unfamiliar but feels immediately like yours. That feeling, Libra, do not override it. Do not analyze it before you have allowed yourself to feel it. Do not immediately begin to list all the reasons it might not be real or might not last or might be too good to be true. Just let yourself have that moment completely without immediately reaching for the protective distance that has become so second nature to you. Because that moment of recognition, that is where this extraordinary love story begins. And I want you to be present for it. Fully, completely, unguardedly present. Let me speak now about what this love is going to require from you, because I believe in giving complete readings, and a complete reading includes not just what is coming, but what your part in it is. This love is going to ask you to receive. That sounds simple. It is not. Receiving, truly receiving, without immediately deflecting or minimizing or wondering what you owe in return is one of the hardest things for a Libra to do, because you are so much more comfortable giving. Giving feels natural, feels right, feels like love in action. Receiving feels vulnerable in a way that giving never quite does. But this person is going to give generously, consistently, genuinely, and your work, your beautiful, important, soul-level work in this connection is to let them, to not deflect the compliment, to not immediately balance every act of love with an equal or greater act so that you never feel like you owe anything, to not make yourself smaller so that their love feels less overwhelming to accept, to simply, graciously, with your whole open heart, receive, because you deserve it, and because this love, this unprecedented, rare, extraordinarily complete love deserves a Libra who is willing to be loved as fully as they love. This is also going to ask you for honesty, the kind that you have sometimes withheld in past relationships to keep the peace, the kind that lives in the things you swallowed instead of saying, the kind that, when left unspoken, creates a slow distance between two people, even when both of them are trying to stay close. This person can handle your truth. This person wants your truth. This person is actually more drawn to you when you are honest than when you are perfectly composed. So when you feel something, say it. When you need something, ask for it. When something is not working for you, name it. Not harshly, not dramatically, but clearly, in the way that only Libra can, with grace and intention and love woven into every word. That honesty is going to be the foundation on which something extraordinary is built. And Libra, that foundation, once it is laid, is going to be unlike anything you have stood on before in love. Solid in a way that does not feel fragile, safe in a way that does not feel boring, real in a way that does not require you to close your eyes and hope. What is shifting inside you as you listen to this? What is this reading touching in you that you did not expect? I want you to sit with that feeling for a moment before you move on. And if you feel called to share it, please do. Your comment might be exactly what another Libra listening to this needs to read today. Let me bring this toward its close now, because I want to leave you with something that carries the full weight of what this reading has been pointing toward. In all the years I have been doing this work, in all the energies I have tuned into, and all the love stories I have witnessed unfolding through the language of cards and intuition and the movement of the soul, I have learned that the most extraordinary love stories do not begin with perfect circumstances. They begin with a person who has done enough of their own work to be ready for something real. And Libra, that is you. Right now, in this season, you have done the work. Maybe not perfectly, maybe not completely, but enough. Enough to have arrived at a place of genuine readiness that is visible in your energy, that is drawing something unprecedented toward you, that is setting the stage for a love story that is going to redefine what you thought love was capable of being. The unprecedented thing I saw when I opened to your energy, the thing I had not seen before, was not just the quality of what is coming toward you, it was the quality of who you have become in preparation for it. The openness, the groundedness, the quiet, unshakable sense of your own worth that has been growing in you slowly and steadily through everything you have lived, that is the miracle, Libra. Not what is arriving, but who you are when it gets here. And who you are is someone who finally, truly, deeply believes that they deserve to be loved the way they love. That belief, that simple, powerful, revolutionary belief, is what has changed everything. That is what I had never quite seen in this configuration before. That is what has made this reading unlike any I have done. And that is what is going to make this love story unlike any you have lived. So as you go forward from this moment, carry this with you, not as a promise about the future, because the future is always co-created and never guaranteed, but as a truth about who you are right now in this moment, as someone who has been through everything you have been through and emerged from it with your heart still open. You are ready, you are worthy, you are magnetic in ways you do not fully see yet. In the love that is looking for you, that extraordinary, unprecedented, never seen before love, it knows exactly where you are. Breathe, Libra. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel the steadiness of who you have become. Something beautiful is on its way, and you are right on time to receive it.